All right, we are still in activity 125, but we're on step 9, so we're just creating a square column with only the multi-view drawing. So what we're going to do first is we're going to make sure you're open in your activity 125 folder, and we're going to create a new sketch. For this one, we're going to start on the top view. Reason being, if we come back here, we're creating a cylinder, and then we're going to extrude on top of it this rectangular prism. So we don't want to create the circle going this way. We want to create it going up. We don't want to create it coming this direction. So on the top view, we want a center diameter circle. We want this to be placed center, which I didn't look at what the dimension diameter was. So we are told from here it is 1.25 diameter. So 1.25 is our diameter. We can hit finish sketch. Now coming back here to see how far we extruded, so it's this bottom portion, so it is 0.5. So extrude 0.5, enter. And we're going to then create the square on top of here. So just so we know what the dimensions are, we have 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, and we know that this is 2.5, and we have 0.5 here. So one way we can do this is do 2.5 plus these 3 minus this, or you can just add the 3 of these up, subtract them from 2.5 prior, which would be, this is 3/4 of an inch. So do 2.5 minus 3/4 of an inch to get you what the height of that square prism is. So coming back here, creating a sketch on the cylinder. We want to use that center rectangle again, so it is centered for us. To get the diameter of it, we have 0.25 from the center of these circles to the edge, which would be doubled, so 0.5. So we have 0.5 by 0.5. Hit finish sketch. And now we're going to extrude that, just the square. Make sure we're not selecting here, because if we do, I'll show you what happens. It creates that hole up at the top. So if you do click that by accident, just click it again and then click the square so that just that portion is being extruded. So we said it was 2.5, and we want to subtract the 3/4 of an inch that we already have to get what our dimension is, not 0.34, so 3/4 of an inch. Hit enter. So we can go to inspect. It should be 1.75, which we can see here, that is the correct dimension. Now, we're going to create another sketch on top of that rectangle to do this portion here, which is this top cylinder, and it has the same diameter. So we're going to create a sketch on top of the square. Again, we want that center point, so we're going to use here, click on from the origin. You can drag out. Sometimes it lines up, sometimes it doesn't. I prefer to just type it in myself. You can see that it is over top of the other circle. I'm going to go back to my home view, finish my sketch, and come back here to see it is extruded 0.25. So it's shorter than the one on the bottom. So extrude. Now, this part, you need to select both the circle, because again, that hole is going to happen, and the square, so that it extrudes the entire cylinder there. And this, we said, was 0.25. So now we have the overall structure of it, and we just have to add these holes. So we're going to use a rectangular pattern, so we're going to create just the one on the bottom, and then use a rectangular pattern to do the ones up on the top. So we're going to create a sketch. We want this to be on the front, so we're going to do the front of that rectangular prism. Double check that this says front here so that you know that is where your sketch is being created. So we're going to do the center diameter circle. What were the diameters? 0.25. So I'm going to create my circle with a diameter of 0.25. add in my dimension, which from the center of the circle to the bottom of that rectangular prism, which is the top of the circle, is 0.5. And now we're going to add a rectangular pattern. So we're going to go to create rectangular pattern. This way we don't have to add all of them multiple times. So we want a quantity of 3. And we want it to go this direction. We don't want it going that direction. We only want it going up. Oh, did I do the wrong? I did the wrong one. So we want 3, so the bottom one, and then 0.5. Now, notice you cannot see. We want it to be spacing. We want the spacing to be 0.5, and we want 3 of them to be there. I'll just say 1. So that top one, if you did type in 0, you just have to change it to 1. You'll be able to click OK. But this way it puts 0.5 in between all of these. If you did them as extent, it would do 0.5 from here to here. So we want to make sure it is spacing and that it is 0.5 so that it stays within the parameters here. So we now have our rectangular pattern. If you messed anything up, you can just double click on it here and change anything that you need to. If you want to just double check, you can do the dimensions between all of them as 0.5. You'll get this over constraining sketch, so just hit cancel. But just if you wanted to double check, you can see that it is 0.5 between all of them, so they do all match correctly. And they're all the same diameter as well. So now we're going to hit finish sketch. It is okay that they are blue and not black. It's just because of the fact that we did a rectangular pattern, so it's making it seem like it's not fully dimensioned. So now it says through type. So what that means is the circle goes all the way through the shape. So we're going to do an extrude. You need to select all 3 of the circles. Again, I find it easiest to just pull it back, or you can just type in a number and change it to a cut. Click OK. View from the front view, as long as you see 3 hollow circles, your square column is done. So we're going to save it. This is the square column. Make sure it's in activity 125. Hit save, and you are done.